Namaste, yogis. So I thought that I would try to do a couple more of these videos. We'll see how things go. I know some studios are opening up, some gyms, things like that over the course of the summer. So just in case you're not comfortable going back, or it's just a rainy day and you feel like doing a home practice, just thought I'd make some of these for you guys to enjoy. As always, try to have your props if you have blocks or two big books available, and a strap or something like a strap. All right, so let's begin getting here, closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you, sitting up nice and tall, putting your legs in whatever position is most comfortable, easy cross leg, maybe hero's pose. Going inward. Maybe a few exhales through an open mouth. Just getting settled here. And while you're looking inward, you can create your intention for your practice today. Something that you need more of or less of, or something that someone else needs more of or less of. Just repeating that intention to yourself 3 times. And then letting it go. If you'd like, we can officially begin our practice with one opening Om. Or you can always just listen, bringing hands to heart center, taking a great inhale. And we'll start to introduce some gentle movements to the body, blinking open the eyes. You can also start the Ujjayi breath. Remember, that's raking the breath across the back of the throat, making that ocean sound. Very calming, helpful in more intense poses. So let's just start by working on our neck. You can take your right hand over onto the left side of the head and just gently pull the head over. Just feel that gentle stretch in the left side of your neck. Nothing too rough. Just see where it goes. And when it feels good, a couple breaths there. And when it's complete for you, just gently coming up, of course, doing the other side. Breathing. And releasing, coming back. We'll shrug the shoulders up, loosening everything up, maybe squeezing the shoulder blades together as they come down the back. You can reverse the motion or keep going that way. Whatever feels good, just getting everything nice and loose and ready for movement. Now we'll do a leg cradle, open up those hips a little bit. So you can either hold onto the foot or place the foot in the crook of the elbow, and then use a bear claw to grab on, and just kind of diagnose how you're feeling today, what feels open, what feels tight, moving the leg back and forth, maybe holding on to the knee like this and the foot. You can kind of just move it whatever which way feels good to you, back and forth, around. And then in your own time, going with the other leg. Like I said, whichever works for you today. Depends upon if it's the morning, the afternoon, if you've already been out and about, maybe you need a little bit more or less depending upon where you're at. is complete. We will just go right into downward facing dog. So, getting here. Probably your first downward facing dog of the day, so it doesn't have to be beautiful. Can pedal out those feet. Spread those fingertips wide. Maybe the heels don't quite reach the mat. And they can just kind of come off. You can bend the knees. Whatever feels good for you. And just be here a few breaths. Gazing towards the thighs or the belly. Can do some more warming up. Let's lift the right leg up to the sky, nice straight leg. Try to keep those hips even, everything nice and even. Point the toe, and then bend the knee and open up the hip. Now when you open up the hip, your right shoulder will probably want to go with you, so try to keep that right shoulder even with the left. As you come into this little twist, and breathe. And coming back, replacing the foot down. Take a moment back in your downward facing dog. And we'll do the opposite side, lifting that left leg up. Getting here, making sure everything's even. Bend the knee, open things up. You may hear some things crack and pop. Try to make that left shoulder even with the right. Breathing and then straightening out. Coming back down, downward facing dog. One more breath here. And then we'll walk up to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Once again, so your first forward fold, we're going to be a little bit tight. So maybe opposite hand, opposite elbow, maybe slightly bent knees. And then let's rise up vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming on up to your Tadasana at the top of the mat. Getting here, take your time, shoulders back. We'll go through Surya Namaskara A. So reaching up to the sky, folding forward, looking up to a flat back, jumping or stepping back, Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chest and chin, into your cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathing here. Looking to the top of the mat, jumping or stepping forward, folding in, reaching up through the heart. All right, let's go through Surya Namaskara B. So coming back into your chair, Utkatasana. Back through your Tadasana, folding forward, looking up to a flat back, jumping or stepping back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Lift that right leg up to the sky. And bringing the foot forward for your warrior one. Sinking in. Not here too long because we're just warming up. Flowing back through. Downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky. Bring it forward for that warrior one. Reaching those arms up. And back down we go for your Chaturanga Dandasana. You can always take knees, chest, and chin. Downward facing dog. And try to breathe with the flow of the poses. It's hard for me to do that when I'm talking, but you can at home. Looking to the top of the mat, jumping or stepping forward. Folding in, coming up through your chair. Take a few breaths here, refining, relaxing the shoulders, and up through Tadasana, hands to the heart. All right, so let's go through a little bit of a warm-up with a little arm balance. I don't know, you can try it or just forget about it and just work on your squat. It's just an option. So, I'm going to bring the hands to heart center. Bring the feet a little bit wider than hip width distance apart because we're going to come on down, sinking into those hips. So bend those knees, toes pointed slightly outward, coming down. We can work our elbows inside. Malasana. Just gonna get here. Just hang out. This may be a big challenge for you, so this is where you'll stay and you'll breathe. Now, like I said, there's an option. We can go into a little arm balance just right off the bat, really warm you up. So our arm balance option would be Firefly, Titibhasana. Bringing the hands behind the heels. Maybe you just want to work on this. Maybe you just want to get comfortable being in this position. That's cool. I'm probably going to kick my blocks if I leave them there. So, if you want to work on the arm balance, get comfortable here, and then you're going to lean back on those arms, letting the legs go out as straight as you can get them, balancing on the arms, breathing for however many moments you can stay, and then coming down however you land. You may still be working in your squat, and that is fine. Staying here. It's just a way, if you wanted to try that arm balance, just to get your heart pumping a little bit, just to get us warmed up kind of quickly. All right, so once you've had enough of that, you can always workshop that a little bit, pause the video. We'll just keep going. So let's come on up, heel toeing back together. Let's hang out in our forward fold just for a moment while we're here. So, may still want to do that opposite hand to opposite elbow. Maybe you're a little bit more warmed up. Maybe you can grab the big toes. So remember, hinging at the hips, maybe a slight bend in those knees. You never want to completely lock them. And gaze through those knees. Remember, it's a forward fold, so put a little bit of weight in the balls of the feet. Maybe you need to hold on to the earth to make sure you don't fall over. One more breath here. And then let's rise on up, reaching the arms up overhead this time. Touching the hands and through the heart. And take a moment here. I'm going to face this way now, just mixing it up. And we will go through some standing poses. Okay, so from the top of the mat, we'll just start right here. Let's step the right foot back, or actually step the left foot back into our triangle, Trikonasana. That way I can face you guys. So, starting in our pyramid pose, we reach the right arm forward, and then folding over that front leg, stacking shoulder over shoulder, looking up if that's comfortable for your neck. You can always look down. Breathing. Nothing else to do but this. Maybe you need to come up a little bit higher. Maybe you're finding this pose is opening up for you and you can creep your fingers a little lower. Maybe you can reach the mat. Maybe you use a block. There's all kinds of options here. One more deep breath. And then we rise on up, back into that 5-pointed posture like a star, bending the front knee to sink into our warrior two. Always making adjustments. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying our best. I know I've looked back on some of these videos and my arms have been places they shouldn't necessarily be. It's not always going to be 100%. As long as your intention is good and we're learning along the way. I'm learning by doing these videos. Catching things. That's why sometimes a mirror is good. One more breath in our warrior two. And then we're going to go into our side angle. So you can rest that right arm on the thigh as the left arm sweeps overhead. That's where I'm going to stay. But if you'd like, you can bring the left arm, or right arm, excuse me, all the way down inside or outside the foot. There are two different schools of thought on that. So whatever's most comfortable for you is what I'd go with. Or maybe grab onto the ankle. What we want is a nice long line from the edge of that back foot to the fingertips. One more deep breath here. Or you can stay here, but I'm going to work on a bind because we're going to go into our bird of paradise. So either staying there, working on your bind, and staying there, or then going into bird of paradise. So when you do use, or go into your bind, you can use a strap too. That's where the strap comes in handy. Letting that strap dangle so that if your fingers don't quite reach, you can use that strap. So you're going to roll that left shoulder back. Gives you a little bit more space for those left fingertips to reach those right fingertips, which are coming up underneath that front leg. Now, if you have this, you can step that left leg up, and it's a balance coming up. Maybe you stay here, working on holding the bind and the balance. If you'd like, you can work on straightening that leg. So you would reach those toes up. This is bird of paradise. We're just getting crazy today. Breathing here, maybe you're working on the bind and side angle, maybe you're in side angle. One more breath. Releasing any binds, releasing, just coming back to our easy angle. One more breath. And then from here, we're going to go into our lizard. So windmilling that right arm down. Bringing both, or left arm down, bringing both hands on the inside of that right foot. Now, in our lizard, lots of modifications. You can bring that knee down and stay up here. Maybe that's enough of a stretch for you. Maybe you don't feel much here. You want to come down into the forearms. Maybe you still don't feel much, so you want to rock onto the outside edge of that right foot, opening up the hip. You could then bring that knee up off the mat if you need a little bit more of a challenge. Today I'm all about options, so we can stay in our lizard, keep on doing any of those things, trying them all out, see what feels good for you, or go into an arm balance again. Or you can work on the prep work for going into the arm balance. So this is scissors. What you would do is bring the shoulder underneath that knee joint. Then the hands are now framing that right foot. Hopefully I'm not going to kick anything. And then that leg rests on the tricep. I'm going to kick the wall. Woo! And that left leg floats up to the sky. Playing with that. Or maybe you're staying in that lizard. So whatever you chose to do, taking a few last breaths, and whenever it's complete for you, we'll flow through vinyasa. Coming into our plank, upward facing dog, and let's just go right into child's pose. We've just done a lot of crazy stuff all at once. Nice deep breaths. When you're ready, we'll come up to standing. Maybe take a quick little forward fold. Rising up. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And actually now this time I'll face this way so that I can still talk to you. Right to the camera. So let's step back with the right foot for our triangle. So find that perfect stance. Coming into our 5-pointed posture, reaching forward and coming on down. So, as always, just making our subtle adjustments, bending a knee here, maybe softening it a little bit. Don't want to hyperextend. Changing the gaze, maybe heel-toeing a foot, whatever you need to do to make sure that it's perfect. Stacking the shoulders, like you're being squeezed between two walls or panes of glass. You're perfectly stacked. One more breath. Then coming up using your core, 5-pointed posture. Then bending that left knee to come into warrior two. Warrior two, building lots of strength in those legs. Nice solid foundation. Breathing. Listening to your own breath. Getting ready to transition. Easy angle. Or the full pose, extended side angle. It's our side angle pose, whichever modification you choose. Now you know where we're going this time. So if you're ready, you can start getting that strap, or if you can do your bind, or maybe if you're in the easy angle, you're just working on the extension. Whatever you're doing, if you're going into the bird of paradise, do take a few breaths in your bind, rolling the right shoulder back. Keep breathing. Maybe if you're doing this, just staying here or straightening the leg. Find a place to gaze. Find that drishti if you're in the bird of paradise. Really helps keep the balance. And when you've had enough, we all meet in our easy angle. And then windmilling down into our lizard. Bring that knee down. Just did a lot of work, so maybe it's nice to take a little breather, just a nice stretch. Especially if you're going to go into the arm balance, you need a little break. Keep those exhales coming out of an open mouth to really let go. We're doing a lot of interesting stuff, so you may be releasing a lot of things. Let it out. If you want, you can go ahead and try that arm balance, working the left shoulder under the left knee joint. We're gonna Rest that leg on the tricep and the right leg just floats in the air. The full variation of this pose, you can see my elbow, my right elbow is just kind of free, but I know in the beginning, I kind of used it to cheat a little bit. I would prop my body on top of the elbow just to see what it would feel like. And then eventually, once I got the core straight, I was able to just lift everything up. So that can be a little thing you can do. Let's see, where were we? So we were in our lizard pose. Maybe some of you are still hanging out there. If that's where you're at, we can flow through our vinyasa. I think that was our last pose. So whenever you're ready, once again, let's take a rest. You could go into wisdom pose this time, maybe. Draping the arms alongside the body, back of the hands on the mat. And when you are ready, coming up, we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Keep that Ujjayi breath going. Like I said, I know I really haven't. I've been talking so much. Hopefully you can. So from our downward facing dog, let's lift the right leg up to the sky. Step it forward for your warrior one. Rising up. This will be a little sequence without any crazy surprises. Just some core standing poses. Relax the shoulders, nice straight arms. Maybe gazing slightly towards the sky. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back and go into our humble warrior. Bowing forward. Let the head hang. Rising up through our warrior one. And let's straighten the leg. We'll come into our intense standing forward fold. So you might need to bring that left foot up a little bit, that back foot, to kind of close your stance a little bit. And you're just going to fold forward. I'm going to grab my blocks to bring the earth up to me so that I don't round my back too much. Oh, it might still happen a little bit. So as we fold forward, we're leading with the heart. Trying to keep those hips squared to the front of the mat. Keep breathing. This is preparing us for a revolved triangle. You can keep one of those blocks on the inside of that right foot or the outside if you need it. If not, go for the full pose. And the full pose would be the right hand outside or the left hand outside of the right foot. And then the right hand reaches up towards the sky. Feel that that twist. One more breath. Windmilling that top arm down. Let's go through a vinyasa. Remember, you can always skip the vinyasa or take knees, chest, and chin. Go right to downward facing dog or child's pose. We'll all meet in our downward facing dog. And we just need to do that on the opposite side. So let's reach that left leg up and step it on forward, warrior one. Breathing. Interlacing the hands behind the back and folding forward. Humble warrior. Rising back up. Warrior one. Straightening the front leg into our intense standing forward fold. Once again, if you need those blocks, I know I do, so I get them set up on either side of that left foot. Maybe inching that right foot up a little bit. This is my tighter side as well. May really need those blocks to be on the high side. Getting ready for our revolved triangle. Inside or outside the foot, your choice. Placing that right hand and the left hand windmills up, reaching those fingers up towards the sky. The gaze can be up or down. Down will help you be more grounded. A little bit less wobbly. Looking up is more of a challenge. Always making subtle adjustments. Maybe just on the inside. Making that twist deeper. One more breath. Windmilling the arm down. Removing any blocks. Let's take one more vinyasa. You can do it. One more. Downward facing dog or child's pose. From here, we'll go into our inversion. So if you have a regular inversion practice, you know what to do. Just going into your headstand. If you have a wall nearby, obviously you know what to do with that. In one of my previous videos, we talked about handstand, if you want to practice that. Or you can always take Prasarita Padottanasana, which is bringing the feet wide, a little bit pigeon-toed, putting the hands on the hips, and folding forward. Still an inversion if you let that head hang. Getting all the same benefits. So you can play here. I'll go into my headstand just for a few breaths. Just give you a few moments to go into your pose of choice. And keep breathing. Even though you're upside down, still need to breathe. Try to get about 8 breaths at least. If you can get more, please do. A minute would be great. For the purposes of this video, I'll come down in a few breaths. You can always pause, stay up longer. Always take a child's pose afterwards. You don't want to come up too quickly and get dizzy. I don't know if you can hear it. There's some birds chirping really loudly outside. That's my music for today. All right, so we're going to play some more with some arm balances. Ooh. So make sure you have your blocks handy. So, in the beginning of our practice today, we did that leg cradle. So you might want to go ahead and go back to doing that because we do really need to make sure that those muscles are quite warm that we're using while we're stretching ourselves in this manner. So you could go back to doing that, or if you have your lotus and you've done Tolasana before, worked on that, you can work on that with me. You can, if you have your half lotus, you can do half lotus or even just a regular cross-legged position, but this pose is actually easier when you're in lotus. So we might have done this before, I can't remember. So if you have your lotus, try to get into that. Have some blocks handy, or you might not even need blocks for Tolasana. We're just going to lift up. And the reason that I want to do this one first, because yes, there is more after this, is because this pose really helps you feel what muscles need to engage in your core in order to do the next pose that we're going to work on. So it's like we're condensing everything together, squishing everything down so that we can lift up. So if you have those blocks, just give everything you can to lifting that whole piece up. Whee! And the blocks really help give you that extra lift. Maybe you can swing back and forth. See how long you can do that for. Coming back down. Play with it again. Maybe you're still doing that leg cradle. That's fine. You can try one more time. Maybe without the blocks. Remember, keep that accordion visual in your head of everything's nice and long right now, and then you're going to push everything together like that. Ooh! You can make sound effects. Get crazy with the swinging back and forth. And then releasing. That's fun, right? Okay, so now we're going to get even more fun. So you might want those blocks again alongside of you if you put them to the side of your mat. And we're gonna work on our elephant trunk pose. And the elephant trunk pose can go into Ashtavakra if you are interested. So, in our elephant trunk pose, we're actually going to straighten the legs out in front of us. And then we're going to take those nice warmed up hips, take that right leg and see if you can get it to go over your shoulder like so. Now, if you can't, then this is what you're working on, right? We're gonna try to get it to do this. If you can, maybe use those blocks. This is the elephant trunk pose. You can work on that. That's really fun. Now, if you have that, that's where we can go into our Ashtavakra. So, I'm gonna move these out of the way. From here, we lift up, crossing that bottom leg in front and transitioning. Squeeze that arm between the legs. Breathe and release. Just thought I'd show you some fun things to play around with, especially if you're still, after this time, hanging out at home. Maybe you're running out of things to do. You can work on these things. So make sure if you did do that all on that side, you obviously want to do it on the other side. Blocks or no blocks, however it went, maybe could help influence your choice there. So get that left leg. Maybe you're still working on the leg cradle. That's fine. Or whatever interested you. Maybe you're working on Tolasana. If you're in this pose, just squeeze everything. That really helps. And of course, breathe. As always, with everything we've been doing today, if you want to keep playing, you can just pause. And that concludes, that was our crux pose today. So now we're just going to come on down. So once you've completed your arm balance fun, you can join me back here. So let's come into our Dandasana, our staff pose. Legs straight out in front of us, seated on the mat. Shoulders relaxed. But we're not just chilling. We're still making an effort to keep everything nice and straight and tall. Reaching the arms up, folding forward. Maybe you're just reaching for your shins. Maybe you're reaching the feet like I am. Maybe the big toes. Maybe you can come down a little bit further. Try to lead with the heart. And breathe. One more deep breath. And coming on up. We'll go into Janu Shirshasana. So let's bring the right foot on the inside of that left leg. If that right knee is coming up off the floor, make sure you have a block or a blanket to prop that knee on so that you can bring the earth up to you. Reaching the arms up overhead. Folding forward once again, leading with the heart. This time, we're just folding over that left leg. And breathing. let's actually kind of go into a modified wild thing. So what we're gonna do, let's see, how do I wanna do this, is reaching the right arm back, coming up onto that, or the left arm back, coming up onto the right knee, and just lifting up. It's just a little counter pose. And then windmilling back down. We'll do Janu Shirshasana on the other side. So bringing that left foot on the inside of that right leg. So many rights and lefts. Pardon me for getting confused sometimes. Reaching the arms up overhead. Folding forward. And breathing. One more deep breath. Getting a nice stretch here. Rising up. We'll do the same thing on this side. Oh, just a little modified wild thing. Coming up onto that left knee now. Right arm is just opening up to the sky. One more breath. We'll come onto our backs now, coming into our bridge pose. We'll do a little transition from bridge to our shoulder stand if that's in your practice. If shoulder stand isn't in your practice, you can always take legs up the wall, just literally letting your legs float up to the sky, or you can bring yourself over to the actual wall. So, going into our bridge first, you can interlace those hands underneath, or if you can reach the ankles, you can take a bound bridge, whichever's in your practice. Bringing those shoulders underneath to help you get up, lifting the pelvis up to the ceiling, and breathing. Getting ready for our shoulder stand. If you can, putting those hands underneath, and then you can kick it up. It's just a fun transition. Now, what I should have said beforehand is you probably should have a blanket underneath the top third of your mat to support your neck. I know that I have the range of motion there so that it won't hurt my neck. If anything feels tweaky, exit the pose and bring a blanket underneath. Once again, you can always make any little modifications in your pose. Transition into plow, bringing the feet behind your head. I'm hitting something, some drums or something, I don't know, a little froggy. You can continue to support your back. If the toes don't quite reach, that's okay, they can just hover. Or if that's uncomfortable for you, next time bring a block behind your head. And whenever you've had enough, see if you can use your core to bring those legs in front of you very slowly. So keep bringing those legs down, not in all one big thump on the floor, but slowly, slowly. So you just land softly on your heels. And we'll go right into our fish pose. So, digging those heels into the mat. Coming up onto your head. Bringing a block if your head doesn't quite reach the mat. And breathing. Getting ready to release. Make sure you're careful with your neck. So use your arms to help you come up and then just releasing. We'll do some reclining twists. 2 options here. You can either stay on your back, bump your buttocks to the left, knees to the right, arms in a T or a cactus, and just allow the twist to happen that way. Or you can come up to seated with your feet as wide as the mat, bringing the knees over to the right, and then twisting the whole top portion of your body, bringing your chest to the mat, arms coming wide. So 2 options there. That second one's a little bit more intense. So see what feels good. Maybe try both and then decide. Let's see, going this way. And just let the belly relax, enjoying the twist, massaging the internal organs. Whenever you're ready, coming back through the middle and doing whichever one you decided to go with for the long haul. Making sure to do the opposite way. And breathe. And then releasing. Coming back. If there's anything else that would feel good to you right now, maybe a happy baby or any other pose, you can do that right now. If you're in happy baby, we did kind of warm these muscle groups up. They should be nice and stretched. Try to reach that tailbone to the floor, soles of the feet to the sky. You could be doing anything else that feels good right now. Maybe the last legs up the wall. And whenever you're ready, stretching out into Shavasana. Some nice deep breaths and then letting it all go. Let the world be your music. Slowly coming back. Wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe a little stretch. And roll to your right side. Maybe take a deep breath and exhale through an open mouth. And then coming up to seated where we began. Just feeling everything. I hope you feel a little bit more peaceful, and if you already were peaceful, extra peaceful than when you began. Let's just close with a little mantra, and then I'll end with Om. You can join in or just listen to the whole thing. Om Bhur-Bhuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhemahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Namaste, yogis. So I thought that I would try to do a couple more of these videos. We'll see how things go. I know some studios are opening up, some gyms, things like that over the course of the summer. So just in case you're not comfortable going